I'm Nicole Brown, and I'm a licensed acupuncturist and health coach. And today we're going to run through a mini acupressure demo. You can use these points at home to get the benefits of acupuncture yourself, and it's a nice little activity or item to add to your self care list. Okay, these points can be done a few times a week. Today's focus is going to be on points that help to promote relaxation. So, I guess the anti stress treatment, right? We could all use a little bit of that. So, we're going to start by explaining how to stimulate the points. So, there's three different techniques that you can use. The first, and I'll use this point here just to kind of explain. I do want to mention that, so we are going to use this point. If you're pregnant, please avoid this point. We'll show you a different point that you can use instead. That's the only contraindication. Okay, but the first technique is a pinching technique. So you just take two fingers and you pinch the point like this. So you want to pinch enough that you feel a little bit of tenderness, but not causing yourself pain. But it's normal to feel like a little bit of soreness in the area. If you don't feel it right away, you can kind of poke around the general area to find where you're feeling the tender point, because that's the key, is that you want to find the tender point. If you want to use an alternative point, let's say you are pregnant, you can try this one right here. So you can pinch like that and just find the point. Technique number two is using I like to use my knuckle because you can actually get in there a little bit easier. So you're going to just kind of press like that, right? So you find the point, press and hold. Find the point, press and hold. Or just one finger, press and hold. You can use your thumb too. It really doesn't matter as long as you're getting into the point and you're finding that slightly tender area. Okay. Technique number three is just a tapping. So instead of pressing, this is a gentler technique, and certain points that we're going to show you today might benefit more from this technique, right? So it's actually, I'm going to move my screen here so you can see. So this point that we're going to do here, you can just kind of like tap that. For my patients who are very sensitive, or from working with little kids, you can sometimes their energy is so changeable, and they respond well that you don't necessarily have to press and hold very strongly. You can either do it gently or you can do kind of this tapping technique. I often will alternate between the different techniques for myself as well, or when I'm working with patients. Kind of just go with what feels right for you. Okay, so we're going to go over a few points now for relaxation to get you out of fight or flight or stress mode. So the first one is this one up here. So this one you can press and hold. So it's about one finger width behind your hairline. So it doesn't have to be perfect, but it's right in the middle there. So you can press and hold that. And you're going to do any technique that you're doing out of the three that I showed you. You can do 15 to 20 seconds. Doesn't have to be perfect. And make sure you're breathing through all of this. If you were on our workshop this weekend, we started the virtual session or demo with breathing. I think that's key. You want to kind of signal to your body that you're, taking a time out from your work week or your work day, and you're really setting aside space to do some self-care. And breathing is a great way to shift your body out of fight or flight. So you want to make sure that you're getting breath into your belly, not up in here, and that your exhale is a little bit longer, like 2 or 3 seconds longer than your inhale. And that will signal to your nervous system to get out of fight or flight, and that it signals to your nervous system that you're safe and it's okay to relax. So you want to make sure you're breathing. And we're going to move on to the next point. It's in between the eyebrows, right here. So this is a good one to either press and hold gently. So you don't want to go too hard on this one. You really don't have to. Less is more sometimes. And this one's a great point. It kind of just calms the whole mind, gets rid of all those racy thoughts that you have in there. And this is a demo, so I'm not, obviously my eyes are open while I'm doing this, but if you're at home wanting to do this, you can lay back, you can recline, you can close your eyes as you're doing this. When we work together, if we work together on a virtual session, we often will have you with your eyes closed when you're doing this, or at least reclined and comfortable. So this one you can press and hold, or you can do a little tapping. Okay, and the next one is right here. So a different view of that, right below this bone. So the easiest way, because you can do these bilaterally, is that karate chop. So you can kind of go like this. So you're activating both sides at the same time. And it looks like a karate chop, and then you can kind of switch. Alternatively, if you don't like this style, you can just press on it or use your knuckle. You can kind of get in there a little bit more like this. And breathe. And this point is great for, it kind of helps to relax the nervous system. It's also great for neck pain. So kind of up in here. So most points that we do have overlapping functions. So I'll let you know when we are doing those. Okay. Next point we're going to do is between the wrist here. So it's between these two tendons in here. It's found about 2 finger widths below your wrist crease right here. Doesn't have to be perfect, but you're going to find a little hollow space there. That's how you know you're in the right spot. This one's easy to just kind of press and hold. Now, if you have nails, that might hurt a little bit. So just you could use your knuckle if you need. And deep breaths. So I usually say 15 to 20 seconds, or you can do 2 to 3 cycles of belly breathing. So in and out. And you can repeat that 3 times, and that's how you know it's time to switch. So this point is great for anxiety. It's great for opening up the chest. So a lot of times when we're stressed, we're breathing very shallowly, and these muscles tighten up, and you can feel just kind of tightness in there, or just finding like you can't take a deep breath, or like you're finding yourself sighing a lot when you're stressed to try to get more air in. So these points help to open that up. This is also the point if you get seasickness or car sickness, you may have seen those bands at Walgreens or CVS. That you can wear, and that this is the point that it's trying to stimulate. It's called PC6, pericardium 6, and it's one of the main points on the body to help with nausea, motion sickness, nausea, any form of nausea really. It can help, and just any kind of like indigestion, it can help too. So multifunctional point, but it belongs in our anti-stress demo because it does help with anxiety. Next point that I love is this one here. So it's between your pinky and fourth finger, and then you'll find a little kind of divot, hollow space right there. This one I find easier to access, to stimulate with my knuckle, because I can kind of press a little bit harder. Love this point. So this one is great for calming the mind. Like if you have a lot of kind of like activity going on in here. It's also a great point for headaches, particularly headaches that are like kind of full head headaches, which can happen when you're stressed. So lots going on in this point. Great point to use also if you're having trouble falling asleep and you want to wind down. Like this whole demo is great to do. This point series is great to do before bed. Like if you need to wind down and you have trouble winding down, especially these head points here, great. Plus these. Next point, which calms the heart and kind of helps with anxiety as well would be this one here. So a little hollow space right here. So not in the middle, but slightly out towards the pinky. So a little hollow space, and you can just kind of poke your finger in there, or you can tap it too. Either one will stimulate the point. And breathe. Great. So those are the main points for calming. There's some that are on the feet, which are obviously going to be difficult for me to show you today. Um, but I guess one way to describe it, so this point that's here, like if you imagine this being your foot and this is your big toe and this is your second toe, the point to kind of release a lot of tension and stress is on your foot, both sides bilateral, between the big toe and the second toe on your foot. So if this images it, imagine that that's where you would find it. And you will find a sensitive point there. That point is quite tender, so you can poke around there and find a little tender point. And that is one of my favorite points to use for myself. It helps to release like a kind of pent up tension, or like especially if you're rushed during your day and you just want to kind of ground at the end of the day. It's a great point. Also great for headaches, like especially headaches that are kind of like up here or on the side. Tension headaches. Okay, so I think that wraps up today. There are other acupuncture, acupressure protocols that we do. Like for allergies, we can do those for virtual. You can even treat pain conditions because you can actually use distal points. Like, for example, to treat the shoulder, we would show you points on your ankle that you can use at home. So there's a lot of self-care stuff that you can do if you can't make it in for an acupuncture session, or if you just want, some stuff that like do-it-yourself stuff at home. I'm a big believer in that. We have to take care of ourselves, and we have to feel like we have the tools to help ourselves as well. Okay, so hopefully that was, a little extra thing that you can add into your self care routine. And if you have any questions, just message me, and I'd be happy to create a customized plan for you. Okay, thank you.